Living right isn't always easy, my friends. We're all just flawed human beings trying to make our way in this crazy world. But I truly believe that understanding that we are loved deeply and unconditionally can make all the difference. Think about it. How much lighter does your step feel when you know there is someone in your corner? Someone who accepts you for who you are at your core. That's the kind of love I'm talking about. A love that doesn't demand perfection, but embraces our imperfections. And where can we find that love? For me, I find it in my faith and relationship with God. But I know that path isn't for everyone. The important thing is to look for reasons to believe. Believe in something bigger than ourselves, something that instills hope and meaning into our lives. Because let's face it, we all need that sense of purpose to carry us through the tough times. Life can knock us down in so many ways. Illness, loss, heartbreak, you name it. But if we can hold on to that core belief that there is a greater plan, a higher reason for our struggles, then we can find the resilience to pick ourselves back up. I'm not saying it's easy. Healing from our wounds, be they physical or emotional, is one of the hardest things we'll ever have to do as human beings. But I do believe that with faith in God, in the inherent goodness of people, in life itself, we can salve those wounds over time. It's a process, one that requires incredible patience and perseverance. But it's worth it, so worth it to reach that point of healing. Think of how light you'll feel once you've shed those burdens you've been carrying around for far too long. Think of how much more present you can be, truly embracing every moment instead of being weighed down by the past. That's what healing can offer us, a new lease on life, a chance to live more fully and joyfully than ever before. And yeah, I know there will still be problems along the way. That's just the nature of this human existence we've been granted. But if we approach those problems with love in our hearts, for ourselves, for others, for the higher power that guides us, then we'll be able to face them head on with resilience and strength. It's a tall order, I know. But I truly believe that if we approach it one day at a time, with patience, love and faith, that we can make it through whatever life throws our way. We're human after all, imperfect yet infinitely powerful in our ability to persevere. Trust the process, lean on each other, and never lose that belief in something greater. That's the path to finding peace in this life. You know, when I take a step back and look at all the material concerns we get so wrapped up in day to day, it makes me realize how misguided our priorities can be sometimes. Don't get me wrong, I'm not judging. Making ends meet, providing for our families, that's hugely important. But it shouldn't come at the expense of what truly matters most, our loved ones. Those are the people who we're doing it all for in the first place, aren't they? Our spouses, parents, children, dearest friends, the ones we'd move heaven and earth for. How many of us have gotten so bogged down in working crazy hours, stressing over money, endlessly upgrading our material possessions, that we've neglected to give our loved ones the time and attention they deserve? I know I've been guilty of it at times, and I regret every moment I can't get back. The family dinners skipped, the events missed, the chances to really be present that just slipped away. Because in the end, when we're lying on our deathbeds, do you think we'll be worried about the size of our bank accounts or our investment portfolios? Of course not. We'll be yearning for more time with the people we love most. That's why I truly believe we need to flip the script while we still can. Our loved ones shouldn't just be providers or burdens to support. They should be our top priorities, period. Why do we work so hard if not to create a foundation for them to thrive and feel cared for? All that blood, sweat and tears means nothing if we don't actually spend quality time with the people it's intended for. And I don't mean just checking boxed with gifts or material things either. Those gestures are hollow if not backed up with true presence. Being attentive listeners, celebrating their wins big and small, offering strong shoulders to lean on. An unrequited kind word or act of service is worth 1,000 lavish gifts given out of obligation. We need to step up and be active helpers, teammates, for the people closest to our hearts. And not just when it's convenient for us, but whenever the need arises. Your son's baseball game starts at 6 even though you've got a big work thing. Reschedule and be there. Your best friend calls in tears at 2 a.m. because she's going through a crisis. You get your butt out of bed, That's what true love is. Prioritizing their pain and joy as if it were our own. Because at the end of the day, these irreplaceable people are the ones we'll want by our sides as we take our last breaths. Not our bosses or our accountants or our investment brokers, our loved ones. The ones we've laughed with, cried with, fought for and forgiven over the years. The ones whose pure, enduring love has been our constant, even when the rest of the world felt flawed and phony. That's what really lasts, my friends. The memories, the invisible threads that tie our souls together across lifetimes. And if we can exist in that space of humility, service, and unconditional love, well, maybe we'll get the same grace and forgiveness from God when it's our turn to move on. I don't have all the answers, but I do know that life is messy, and we're all just stumbling along doing the best we can with what we've got. So let's try to focus less on the material rat race and more on being present, on extending helping hands with zero expectation of reciprocation, on forgiving freely because we've all been forgiven for our own flaws. That's how we live a life with purpose. That's how we show our loved ones just how cherished and valued they truly are. We're not perfect, but we can sure as heck try our best to get it right for the people that matter most. I'm going to make that my personal mission from now on, to be of maximum service to my loved ones, for as long as I'm lucky enough to walk this earth. And if I can spread even an ounce of that purposeful presence to all of you, well, I'll consider my life's work complete. Let's lift each other up, prioritize what's real. It's the only way to find true contentment. You know, I hear what you're saying, and I feel that uncertainty deep in my soul. This journey of faith, of trying to live an honest and righteous life, it's not an easy road, is it? Heck, half the time I don't even know if I'm doing it right or just deluding myself. I look at the life of Jesus, his profound wisdom, his selfless acts, his unwavering commitment to God's will, and I can't help but feel inadequate in comparison. How can I, a flawed and imperfect human, ever hope to walk that sacred path? I stumble constantly, giving in to temptation, acting selfishly, doubting my own convictions, and then there's the endless stream of people claiming to speak the truth, each one contradicting the other. It can make your head spin trying to sort through all the noise and land on something, anything you can stake your beliefs on. Easier said than done when we're just these tiny beings adrift in a vast universe of uncertainties. I'll be honest with you, there are days when my will is absolute garbage, when apathy and doubt creep in like pestilent waves, threatening to sweep away any semblance of faith I've managed to build. I look at the hatred, the violence, the sheer indifference to human suffering that seems so prevalent, and I start to wonder, what's the point? Why even try? But then I'll experience a small miracle that restores my depleted hope. A random act of kindness that restores my faith in people. A quiet instance of beauty that hints at the divine majesty of existence. And I'm reminded that this life is a constant ebb and flow of lightness and darkness. We simply have to try our best to create more of the former. Because at the end of the day, I have to believe that God, this supreme universal force, isn't fixated on dogma or ritualistic worship. I think God just wants to see us erring humans give it an honest effort to be good to our fellow beings, to ourselves, to muster up that kernel of strength and push forward, flaws and all, in pursuit of truth, compassion and love. None of us are perfect, nor were we intended to be. Jesus himself was equal parts human and divine. He felt fear, anger, doubt, and yet he persevered. And if we approach this journey with that same humility, that same acknowledgement that we're all just trying to find our way home, well, maybe that's enough. I don't have any grand answers for you. My mind is still awash in those same question marks, those same pangs of uncertainty you described. But here's what I do know. As long as we're operating from a place of sincerity, of striving to be kinder, more loving people despite our shortcomings, then God will forgive us. God has to, because torn and fallible as we are, we're still beloved children, giving our best effort. So let's be honest about that effort, shall we? Let's admit our mistakes, our bouts of weakness, and vow to dust ourselves off and try again tomorrow. Let's drown out all the noise by listening to our hearts and following the path that feels most true, most righteous to us. It may be a winding, imperfect journey, but my prayer is that it will lead us somewhere near the boundless grace of the divine, one humble, wayward step at a time. You know, life ain't easy. I've learned that the hard way over the years. Seems like no matter how much I pray, how patient I try to be, or how hard I work at bettering myself, the challenges just keep on coming. But I can't give up, you know? Giving up just ain't an option for me. I was raised to keep pushing forward, no matter what tries to knock me down. My mama taught me the value of persistence from an early age. How you gotta just keep putting one foot in front of the other, even when the road ahead looks impassable. I try my darndest to live by that philosophy each and every day. Sure, I stumble and fall more often than I'd like to admit. We all make mistakes, and that's just part of being human. But the key is to pick yourself back up, dust yourself off, and keep on trucking. Every misstep, every failure, it's all just another lesson to be learned, if you've got the wisdom and humility to see it that way. And believe me, I've had my fair share of lessons over the years, more than most folks my age, I'd wager. This life, it ain't been an easy ride for me. I've suffered setbacks, heartbreaks, losses that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. There were times where I felt so beat down by it all that I didn't know if I could go on. But something inside me, call it stubbornness or just plain old perseverance, wouldn't let me quit. Maybe it's the prayers that kept me afloat during those darkest hours. I'm a God-fearing man, no doubt about that. Putting my faith in the Almighty and asking for His guidance has given me strength when I had none left. It's hard to explain to anyone who don't share that belief, but feeling that higher power watching over you, it's a comfort unlike anything else. Still, even with my spiritual convictions, I'd be lying if I said I never had moments of doubt creep in. We're only human after all, and the trials we face can really test our faith sometimes. Why keep praying when it seems like your pleas fall on deaf ears? Why stay patient when the world seems set against you? Questions like those have run through my mind more times than I can count. But I always come back to the same core belief, that life's a journey, not a destination. We're all just travelers on this road, racking up experiences and lessons with every step we take. Sure, the path gets rocky and overgrown at times, but that's all just part of the adventure. What's important is that you keep moving forward bit by bit, day by day. Every stumble is a chance to find your footing again. Every mistake is an opportunity to learn and grow wiser. Every suffering is a test of your fortitude and spirit. It's not about avoiding those trials because they're inevitable. No, it's about how you respond to them that really matters. Do you let them knock you down for good? Or do you grit your teeth, pull yourself up, and carry on with renewed determination? Time and again, I've chose that latter path. Not because I'm anything special, but because it's the only way I know how to live. Quitting, giving up, letting life's hardships have the last word, that just ain't for me. So I'll keep on praying, keep on being patient, keep on picking myself up after every fall, and most importantly, keep on learning from each and every experience that comes my way. That's the journey I'm on, and I'll be walking it until my last breath. It ain't easy, but then again, nothing worth having in this life ever is. The road's been long and hard, but I'm still here, putting one foot in front of the other, and I'll keep on doing just that, come what may, because that's just the way I'm built. That's what life has taught me to be, a survivor.